The man noticed that his line was moving slower than the others. The customers in the other lines only had a few items, while the cart of the customer in his line was piled high. What was worse, the other line was manned by an experienced woman who scanned items quickly, while the man's line had a novice girl. The guy behind the man decisively switched lines. But the man was inwardly anxious, and a strange stubbornness welled up. He told himself that persistence was victory. Finally, the big guy in front lost his patience and also left the line. The man was secretly pleased, thinking this would surely speed things up. However, the guy who had switched lines, and even the big guy who had just left, had already checked out before him. Just as the man was on the verge of despair, the manager suddenly called the girl aside. When the girl returned to her post, she made frequent mistakes, doubling her slow speed from before. The man couldn't take it anymore and immediately switched lines. But, strangely, the moment he moved over, the girl's line suddenly sped up again. It turned out the girl was deliberately working slowly, wanting all the customers to rush to the experienced woman's line next to her so she could rest. But the manager suddenly informed her that there was a wanted criminal in the supermarket and asked her to try her best to stall the suspect. The wanted criminal, however, seemed to see through the girl's intention and had already switched to the other line. So, in order to lure the wanted criminal back to her line, the girl deliberately sped up. But the experienced woman felt the girl was threatening her status, so she also increased her checkout speed. The two competed constantly, and finally, the girl's line emerged victorious. The wanted criminal returned to the girl's line again. But just as it was about to be the criminal's turn, the register malfunctioned. The criminal was momentarily stunned. By the time he finally paid and left the supermarket, the police had arrived at the entrance.